borough, county, whatever.
We're gonna sell them on it. That's what he's
Okay.
here.
All right, we'll call the Monday, August 19th, 2024 Emmaus Borough Council meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up on the agenda is personal appeals part 1. If anyone has a personal appeal, please come up to the microphone, state your name and your address, sign in the book, and you have 5 minutes for your appeal.
My name's Ronald Schwartz.
Or was it here?
I live at 400 South 10th Street, known as the Rodale property. My question is there a plan with the ambulance corps like we used to have before, where we paid a fee and then we were covered with what our insurance paid?
Subscription fee.
And from what I was told by our director, Emmaus has no plan anymore. Is that correct?
So I'm going to allow our chair of public safety briefly speak of this. There is a plan in place, and I think we are working on it, but I'll let her speak a little bit more if you would like to.
Yeah, he basically captured it. There is a plan in place. It was suspended for a period of time, but there is a plan in place to reinstate it. And we've been talking about it in our committee.
You have a plan
Mm-hmm.
because we have a lot of new people moving in to the
Yes,
Chestnut Ridge.
we understand that. We
A lot
definitely
of
want to
them don't
provide
have
the
coverage.
service.
And now we were told Cetronia is not part of your co-op anymore. And then they came up with something that you could join McCungy for $55 and we'd be covered.
Yeah.
So I think you should get your plan on the books in a hurry and get some forms out to Chestnut Ridge.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's no one else in the audience. Is there anybody online that has a public comment?
Chris Dufresne, 181 Harrison Street, Emmaus.
Can we get that volume up?
I don't know what volume it is. I tried them all.
Hold on 1 second, Chris.
This is the same problem.
Go ahead, speak again.
Chris Dufresne, 181 Harrison Street. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're going to make it work.
Okay. So for my first comment, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've all heard this because you live in Emmaus. The UGI work that's being done, hopefully we can hold them to a minimum standard when they patch their holes back up. I know it's going to be ripped up and done better later, but take a ride up 3rd Street between Seaman and Harrison. I mean, that's terrible. Walnut Street between McCungy Avenue and 10th Street is brutal. Broad Street between 3rd and 4th is just as bad. McCungy Avenue in front of the high school is every bit as bad. It's like just gets filled in and, 4 months later, maybe it'll come back. Maybe they'll come back next summer. I know it's not going to be perfect, but to me, they have to do a better job of putting that back in. If you get stuck in the rut at 3rd Street between Seaman and Harrison, especially by the stop sign at Harrison, you're not getting out of it. So that's my first public appeal. I'm sure that's not the first time you heard that. The second one is just if there's any questions about the parade request for the food trucks at the borough lot there on Main Street.
I'm speaking for myself on the second, Chris. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. I don't see having an issue. Anybody on council have a question? Brent?
Yeah, Chris, is it being used as a fundraiser or is it just a supply to the attendees of the parade?
We talked a little bit of a fundraiser since it's our first year allowing food trucks. Well, we're going to have the health inspector wanted them to pay the health inspector directly for their inspections and stuff. And what we're suggesting is a minimum $25 fee for them to come, to be there. So a little bit of a fundraiser. We're not going to start the first year, with the percentage of sales and that type of stuff, but hopefully, we can get a first year under a belt and figure out something a little more of a fundraiser. Eventually, that's the goal, though, Mr. Councilman Lavenberg.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Anders.
Chris, is there any thought, since that is like kind of down at that end of town, more like down towards, say, Fifth, or like having something down that way as well, for, since they're, everyone's spread out a little bit and maybe they wouldn't walk down that far as well? Just curious.
Our thought was, again, to start small, and since Bliss Paints said that we could use their lot also, everything would kind of be in one spot between the Borough lot and Bliss Paints. And again, in the first year, our goal isn't to have 10 food trucks. Our goal would be to have a handful, maybe, just to get it started, see how it goes. We want them to make some money too, or obviously they won't come back. And we also don't want to compete too much with our downtown restaurants. I already did talk to Brian from Hermetas and stuff. So, I mean, he is aware of it, and he seemed okay with it and stuff. He said it was one night. So I do plan to talk to a few of the other restaurant owners downtown here, over the next few days also.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chris. And to acknowledge your first appeal, I think that everybody's very much so aware of the situation of that. And I know that I spoke to Lawrence maybe a week and a half ago about that. So I think they're working on how to hold them a little bit more accountable on the patches and whatnot. On a good note is where they ripped apart the roads like that, they will have to repave half of the lane. And I think they're trying to do that probably within like the 6-month time frame of opening the roads. And if we get our stuff together, I think we're going to try to repave some of the other halves, is what Lawrence was talking about. So I think there'll be some good things to come of that.
Oh, there's definitely be good things to come. I'm sure of that. Just hopefully they can do a little bit in the short term here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else online with a public comment or an appeal? Hearing none. We have no, actually, community minute. Anyone have a community minute to bring forward?
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
National Night Out was a huge success this year. First time I think we had, I want to say about 500 people come out. Percy the Camel was a big hit. So we'll see what we can do next year. But I do want to thank all the volunteers, from the hot dog servers to the dunk tank participants, to individuals that help with games, the organizations and the vendors that participated. I think we all had a good time. I specifically want to thank 2 members of the police department, that's Sherry and Julie. They did a lot of work to make this the event that it was, and that's why it was so successful. We had 34 individuals, whether they were businesses or just individuals that made donations or contributions to the event. And I want to thank the community for the support and coming out and having a good time. Hopefully next year it'll be maybe a little bit bigger. We'll see. We started the planning for that, so we'll see what we come up with. So thank you, everybody, for helping out and participating. It was fun.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, we have no special presentations tonight. Do I have a motion to accept the July 15th, 2024 council meeting minutes?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Watt. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Mumgarner. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? 7 ayes. For consideration, we have on bids, we have cardiac monitors, and we are looking to award the bid with Stryker for an amount of $42,354.71. Do we have a motion to approve this purchase? Motion by Mr. Brown, a second.
Second.
Mr. Lavenberg, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? 7 ayes. Under communications, some of these we're gonna actually create as action items tonight and vote on it. First up on this is Terry McManaman is looking to join the Historic Commission. So I'll pass it off to Ms. Watt.
Now?
Yep.
Okay, we are proposing to, I move to appoint Terry McManaman to the Historical Commission to a 3-year term to expire January 1st of 2027.
Motion by Ms. Watt. Is there a second? Mr. Anders? Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Oppose? 7 ayes. Next up in the communication list is the Emmaus Lioness. Lions Club is looking to have their scarf event. That I believe is a long-time reoccurring event, so that can go to staff. They can handle that. Next up, Carrie Schreppel gave us a letter of resignation from the Emmaus Arts Commission effective August 15th. Emmaus Public Library Community Heroes Day event letter. They have that as October 3rd, and we are all invited to that. Next up is letter of resignation from Sergeant Adam Polster, and that is effective August 1st. We have a Public Works employee that Sean Lawrence with his intent to retire effective August 6th letter. We have the Joint Environmental Advisory Council Storm Drain Adoption Program that we can assign to Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee. We have Maggie Felsher. She has an application to join the Historic Commission that I can, that we can.
No, we're ready to move on that tonight too.
Do you want to do that one?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I move to appoint Maggie Fisher to the Historical Commission as an at-large representative to a 3-year term to expire January 1st, 2027.
Perfect. Motion by Ms. Watt. Is there a second?
Second.
Where'd that oh, Chris. Mr. Hohenscheid. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? 7 ayes. Next up is the Emmaus Halloween Parade Committee requests the use of the borough parking lot. Mr. Dufresne just spoke of that. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve that? Mr. Labenberg, is there a second? Mr. Brown? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? 7 ayes. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
He's gone.
He is gone. And the next is a Meals on Wheel donation request letter. I was actually surprised that there's 31 residents that take advantage of that. I guess we'll probably send that over to Gen Ed.
That